small. लगाओ. Just keep it there. Should be fine. This should be okay. That's it. So we'll start with our prayers. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hare Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya avirāvirmayedhi. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Achandala pratihatayo yasya prema pravaha lokatitopyahanjaho lokakalyanmargam त्रैलोक्येऽप्य प्रतिममहिमा जानकी प्राणबन्धो त्रैलोक्येऽप्य प्रतिममहिमा जानकी प्राणबन्धो भक्त्या ज्ञानं वृतवरवपु सीतया योहि रामः भक्त्या ज्ञानं वृतवरवपुः सीतया योहि रामः स्तब्धीकृत्य प्रलयकलितं वाहवोत्थं महान्तम् हेत्वा रात्रिं प्रकृतिसहजाम् अन्धतामिश्रमिश्राम् गीतं शान्तं मधुरमपि यः सिंहनादं जगर्ज गीतं शान्तं मधुरमपि यः सिंहनादं जगर्ज सोऽयं जातः प्रथितपुरुषो Ramakrishna Sridhanim Soyam Jatah Prathita Purusho Ramakrishna Sridhanim Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva Shakti Samudra Samutha Tarangam Darshita Prema Vijrimbhitarangam Shakti Samudra Samutha Tarangam Darshita Prema Vijrimbhitarangam Shanshaya Rakshasa Nashamahastram Shanshaya Rakshasa Nasamahastram Yami Gurum Sharanam Bhavavedyam Yami Gurum Sharanam Bhavavedyam Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva Advaya Tattva Samahita Chittam Projala Bhakti Patavrita Vritam Advaya Tattva Samahita Chittam Projala Bhakti Patavrita Vritam Karma Kalevara Madhuta Cheshtam Karma Kalevara Madhuta Cheshtam Yami Gurum Sharanam Bhavavedyam Yami Gurum Sharanam Bhavavedyam Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva. This next Saturday, we are going to celebrate the birth anniversary of Sri Ramakrishna. So I thought it is better to talk about the life and teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. And today we'll dwell on the world teacher, Sri Ramakrishna. Now, before we proceed, let me translate what we have just recited. In the beginning, we have recited Shanti Mantra. Let we be protected, let we be nourished. Let we strive with energy and vigor. Let our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om, peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om, peace, peace, peace. The stotra was composed by Swami Vivekananda in praise of his Guru, Sri Ramakrishna, but he considered him as it was revealed to Swami Vivekananda by Sri Ramakrishna himself. When he doubted the divinity of Sri Ramakrishna, and before leaving this world, say 3-4 days before that, when Swami Vivekananda, that time Narendranath, entered his room with this doubt that I'll believe if he tells me himself now. So immediately Sri Ramakrishna responded, even now you have doubt. He who was Rama, he who was Krishna, now dwells in this body as Ramakrishna. So from that day, Swami Vivekananda was convinced that Sri Ramakrishna was Rama and Krishna together. So this stotra is depicting that same idea, that Rama and Krishna. Rama and Krishna. He who was Sri Rama, whose stream of love flowed with restless might. He who was Sri Rama, whose stream of love flowed with resistless might even to the Chandala, lowly. Oh, whoever was engaged in doing good to the world through though superhuman by nature, whose renown there is none to equal in the three worlds, Sita's beloved, whose body of knowledge supreme was covered by devotion sweet in the form of Sita. So Sri Rama, he roamed almost the whole India that time, and he bestowed love to all, even lowly, outcast, all. And again, he was consort of Sita. Then he who was Rama, now next stanza, he who quelled the noise terrible like that at the time of destruction, arising from the battle of Kurukshetra, who destroyed the terrible yet natural night of ignorance of Arjuna, and through Arjuna, all of us, and who rode out the Gita, sweet and appeasing. That renowned soul is born now as Sri Ramakrishna. So in one hand, Rama, and in the second, Krishna, who rode Gita in Kurukshetra. And through Arjuna, he taught the whole humanity. I surrender myself to my Guru, the physician for the malady of samsara. So he is the physician, doctor, to treat the malady of samsara, that worldliness that we have, who is as it were a wave rising in the ocean of Shakti, who has shown various sports of love divine, and who is the weapon to destroy the demon of doubt. So generally we see gods and goddesses, they have weapons to destroy demons. So this time it is to destroy the demon of doubt. We have so many doubts, social, or say like whether God is there, right from there, and so many doubts. What is the way, how to go about it? So he destroyed that. And because he took control of his power, Shakti, and he manifested himself as promised in Gita. So similarly, he incarnated this time as Sri Ramakrishna, and he was the physician of this malady of worldliness. I surrender myself to my Guru, the man God, the physician for the malady of the samsara, relative existence, whose mind ever dwelt on the non-dualistic truth. So he lived in non-dualistic truth, but he was not confined there because there are not many. So apparently we see many. So he residing there, non-dualistic truth, whose personality was covered by the cloth of supreme devotion, who was ever active for the good of humanity, and whose actions were all superhuman. May his name be ever victorious. So, because he was at the verse where Deva and Manava, man and God, that distinction gradually goes away. So, this is in praise of Sri Ramakrishna by Swami Vivekananda, where he depicts that Sri Ramakrishna, clothed as devotion, but inside it was full of knowledge, and he was actively engaged in the society for its upliftment. So today's topic is the world teacher. So world teacher comes to teach. But the irony is he was illiterate. He hardly could write his name. How such a person can teach humanity? That is the question. But here he did not come to teach us physical knowledge. Even physical knowledge is also it is available to Brahmagya. Brahmagya, the knower of Brahman, is described as Sarvagya Sarvavit. He knows everything in general and he knows everything in particular. Only thing he should bring his mind there. Then everything reveals. If someone knows one, as Sri Ramakrishna would say, Akke Jananam Gyan, if you know one, so that is knowledge. But if you know many, that is ignorance. So accordingly, there are two kinds of knowledge. One is para and apara. Para means supreme, yaya tat aksharam adhigamyate sa para, by which one knows the highest, which is immutable. So that is para vidya. Apara vidya means lower. Lower means not so humble, so supreme, so noble. Those are also required for the well-being of humanity, but it is not panacea. It is not the highest knowledge. So that's why in negative it is apara, not that noble. So he did not come here to teach aparavidya, but he came to teach paravidya. Now, to whom we preach or teach? Either somebody is lower than or some equal, also like we can see in symposium or continuing medical education, or they are of same level, but still they share the knowledge. And sometimes, in even the previous incarnations also. So we find in Sri Ramakrishna all three. He came to teach ordinary human being. And his teachings, if you go through the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you'll find that if he says something, he gives 3-4 examples, illustrations, so that even a boy can understand, small child can understand, and Pandit can write volumes. So this is for lower category. For example, so he said, when that urge comes, it comes naturally. Then nobody need to guide him. He runs for it. So example is given like nature's call. So child says, mother, wake me up when I feel nature's call. The mother said, don't worry, my child, the nature's call will awake you. So when we feel the urge for God realization, then we go for it. Like the Guru drowned the Shishya, the disciple. And then the disciple was very uh, uneasy because he was panting for breath. So this we can understand, even a child can understand. So he came to teach even ordinary human being how one should feel for God, how one should be one-pointed. Then he does not require anything else, and he is not for anything else. Now we see another kind of people, like big pandits. So Sri Ramakrishna taught them also. Who are they? Some are of new sect, Brahma, then Keshav Chandra Sen or Shivnath Shastri. Big pandits. But they used to come to Sri Ramakrishna and sit at his feet. Amazing. An illiterate Brahmin from a village, and these people are coming and sitting there and spending hours. Even the recorder of the gospel, he was teacher, well trained in English education and philosophy. Very good Pandit. But even he was sitting for hours and noting each word. Not only that, Vidyasagar. Vidyasagar means, Sagar means ocean. Vidyasagar. So he is the ocean of learning. And Sri Ramakrishna goes himself to see him. And you can see the recorded conversation. Vidyasagar is silent, he is listening. And even in wit, Sri Ramakrishna is, sometimes surpassing him, many times, all the time. He said, till this day, I have seen small canals or small rivers or rivulets. Ultimately, I have come to the ocean, Vidyasagar. Then Vidyasagar also witty, he said, okay, then take some salty water. But Sri Ramakrishna said, no, you are Vidyasagar. You are the ocean of knowledge. So there is no chance of taking salty water. So Vidyasagar was silent. And right from the beginning, you can see whole conversation is given by Sri Ramakrishna. And he's teaching one of the leading figures of that time. That time Calcutta was the capital of India. And all big players, big learned people also were there. It is called Bengal Renaissance. Bengal Renaissance, Indian Renaissance. Because from there, all kinds of awareness first was awakened there, and then it was spread all over India. And Sri Ramakrishna is teaching them. And more, like ordinary people and learned people, he is teaching them. Now let us see what happens to his predecessors. That means incarnations. So incarnations, who are they? Shankaracharya and all acharyas, and also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as yesterday also we were discussing, that one day Sri Ramakrishna was sitting and his disciples and some other devotees were there. And Sri Ramakrishna was talking about 3 tenets of Vaishnavism. What are those? That Name Ruchi, Jive Daya. So Name Ruchi means taste for God's name. And Jive Daya, compassion to the Jivas. Jivas means embodied being. And third is Vaishnava Seva. Sri Chaitanya was talking to Sanatana Goswami, a great disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he said, at least these 3 should be there. Other teachings are also there. But Sri Ramakrishna, when he heard this, He went to trance and he said, Jiva Daya, how can you have compassion on Jiva? You are a small fry, small minnows, small being. How can you have compassion on Jiva? Then he gave the new formula for this world. Not Daya, Seva. Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. So we have to serve human being thinking that I am serving God. So even he excels Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is his incarnation. We consider that they are not two. But that time, that was relevant. But now he is improving. And Shankaracharya, mostly he depended on knowledge, spread of knowledge. That time it was required to counteract Buddhism. But this time, it should be all-encompassing, all-encompassing. So not only knowledge, but with a feeling and also heart. As Swami Vivekananda said, not only intellect, but one should have the heart to feel and hands to translate those feelings into work. And that's why here we also find that not only he felt, but he went from door to door, as it were. Sorry. In Calcutta. And before passing, one day he was staring at mother. Then mother asked, do you want to say something? Then Sri Ramakrishna said, these people, Calcutta people, worldly people, they are suffering so much, like little insects. So you have to do something for them. Mother said, what can I do? I'm a woman. That time it is, not like this. Even later, a woman became a prime minister also, but that time, say, 150, 60 years back, or maybe a little more. So mother said, what can I do? No, you have to do a lot. What this has done, you'll do more. What I'm trying to say is that compassion, that fellow feeling, that blessing that was flowing in Sri Ramakrishna's heart. So it touched everyone. So we can see he taught not only ordinary human being, but even Pandits, even incarnations. Say Buddha Bhagavan, he did not bother about answering about God or such thing. He said it is better to walk on the path rather discussing about whether he is there or not. So his approach was very scientific. And Sri Ramakrishna's approach was very scientific. Only we have to find it. Say like Buddha. He had 4 postulations. Of course, later it was postulated. What is that? There is sorrow. We see it. We feel it. We experience it. In this world, there is suffering. So this is one Arya Satya. Second, there is a cause of that suffering. Because here nothing happens without any rhyme and reason. There must be a reason. So there is a cause. And that suffering can be stopped. Why? Because Buddha Bhagavan himself did it. Not only Buddha, but all the sages, those who have realized the self, they have done it. So it is possible that it can be stopped. That is Nirodha. And there must be a way, Magga. There must be a way to reach and to do that stoppage. So for Arya Satya, one is there is misery, there is a cause of that misery, and there is a way it can be done, and there is a way to do that. Now, if we see Sri Ramakrishna, so what he teaches us? He teaches us there is a goal of life. What is that? The goal of human life is to realize the ultimate reality. This is the goal. As Swami Vivekananda translated it in simple way. Each soul is potentially divine. We are divine. Only potentially. Now we have to make it kinetic. We have to make it manifest. So this is the goal of life. The goal of life is to manifest this divinity, controlling nature, internal and external. This is the goal. First we set our goal, otherwise we cannot reach. Before coming here, you set your goal, okay, I'll go to Vedanta Society. So you are here. Goal should be set first. Now, what is that goal? How does it, what is its nature? What it looks like? So ultimate reality is one. For all pursuance, for all ways, it is the same goal. Only the path may be different, it doesn't matter, goal is the same. And it is personal and as well as impersonal. It is with qualities, without qualities, it with form, without form, whatever way you take it. That is it. See, this whole universe, we can see it is with form. But if you ask scientists, they are going to that state now, it is philosophy. They don't know what matter is. Now it is becoming philosophy. And they are trying to find out, but they cannot. It's going further, subtler and subtler and subtler. So this is personal. Say, see yourself. Yes, we are person. But if you dive deep within, then you'll know that you are impersonal. Only we must have time and willingness to dive deep. So this is personal and impersonal both, indicated by different names. So sometimes God, Ishvara, or higher nature, self, all these are various ways to express. Now, how this reality can be achieved? So there are 4 ways, as we know. Whatever we do, that's it. And if it is oriented to realize God, that's called Karma Yoga. And Dhyana Yoga, we understand, we concentrate, we try to remove all the mental modifications from our mind so that our real nature reflects, our real nature is manifested. So Karma Dhyana Yoga, or through meditation we say. Third is through knowledge. By analysis we can negate the whole world, and what remains, remains. The fourth is bhakti. There it is the same thing happens, same thing happens there, that you surrender yourself to God. That means you negate this little self. Of course, in the beginning, there you must posit that there is a higher being and you are surrendering to him. So ultimately, knowledge and bhakti, these are not different, or anyone are not different. If someone works without any expectation, without any result in mind, without any selfish end, and with love, he will also experience the same truth. So these are various ways how to achieve as the marga. There are margos. Now this will not come because we hear so many times. So what is to be done then? We are to purify our mind. Purify our mind. And that can be done through 4 yogas. Constant practice of karma yoga without selfish motive, without expectation, dhyana yoga, try to reduce our mental modifications and to reach that samadhi state. And then through jnana also, negating all neti, everything is all, whatever we see, the objects are not existent. What reality is, that alone is. And fourth, this small being no more there. It has submitted to God. So this way one can achieve, and this way what will happen gradually? The mind will be clean, the heart will be cleansed. So that way we can have that. So this is the means. So what is that? Through spiritual practices, man can overcome his evil tendencies, and divine grace can redeem even the worst sinner. Worst sinner means here who has committed some bad karma. Therefore, one should not brood over the past mistakes, but should develop a positive outlook on life by depending on God. So this is the way and means. Now, is it for only some privileged people? No, it is for all. Not only for swamis, not only for a class of devotees who come to Vedanta society, no, for all people. Only one thing should be there, it is sincere prayer, sincere effort. And also discrimination, one has to practice discrimination. Generally we forget this. We do it all the time. If we go to shopping mall, we don't buy anything and everything. We select, oh, this is good, it is healthy, it is vegan. We have criteria, so accordingly we select. Similarly, what is helpful in our spiritual life, that is to be chosen. As Sri Ramakrishna says, Viveka, Vairagya, these are essential. Renunciation. So this discrimination should be practiced. And intense longing. Once what happened, I think it is Akhandanandaji, that time he was a mere boy. So he was teaching how to pray to God. So he said, you know how to pray to God? So after saying this, Sri Ramakrishna fell on the ground and started, throwing his hands and limbs and started weeping. Oh God, please show your benign face to us, face to me. And weeping so bitterly. And Akhandanandaji was taken aback, and he could learn how to pray to God. So it's simple. Only pray to God. No need of mantra, tantra or anything. But earnestness is very important. He taught that. And secondly, not to hate anyone. Because God dwells in all being. One may think that he or she has some limitation. He cannot do, or our expectation is so high. Even somebody comes to that near, no, he should have done more. But when it comes to us, we say, no, no, I could not do because of this, because of that, because of this. We have so many pretexts. Whereas, we should not have that expectation that everybody will act according to my wishes. So that way we can get rid of this. If we dwell or delve deep within, we'll see what is the root cause of this. The root cause is ego. As Sri Ramakrishna would say, Ami mole ghuchibe janjal. When this ego dies, all the rubbish will go away. That means we have to sacrifice this little ego that expects from others, that expects various results. And also it suffers. Dukkha, shoka, tapa. Because of this, we suffer. When we have this ego, we suffer. But if we can surrender this ego to God, then there is no suffering. See, so many people are dying. Are you suffering? No. Even a war is going on in a country. Are you suffering? No. You may say, no, no, Swami, I'm spending more money nowadays because of the inflation. It's nothing compared to the person who is dying there. So this is, the cause is, root cause is ego. And that is the cause of all suffering. And Sri Ramakrishna said that surrender, though it is difficult to remove ego, as Sri Ramakrishna said, that it is like a ashwatha tree. You cut it today, tomorrow again it will sprout. So this should be a continuous process, a continuous process. That all the time we have to surrender our little ego to God, or we have to negate, either way, or it is because of mental modification, let this be stopped. So the root cause is ego that he taught us. So how to take this world then? We can take it as God's Leela, divine play, because it is spontaneous. See, you are today here. We had Shivaratri last night. So spontaneous game. So much of singing, so much of rituals, etc. Everything happened. So let us enjoy wherever we are. Even when we are in difficulty, that also is, if you stand aside, then you can enjoy that suffering also. You can take that suffering as God is teaching you how to forbear. And that is for our own vairagya, renunciation. If you get suffering from someone, that means God is teaching you that you must have renunciation. It looks like, it is ridiculous apparently. But if you dive deep, you will find this. That when we get suffering from someone, that means I am not of this world. This suffering will be there. I am not part of it. This renunciation and detachment comes. See, this world, what is the nature of this world? Bhogap vargartham drishyam. When you see a scenery, then you enjoy, very good, very nice. But you cannot see all the time like wide-eyed. You have to stop. It's enough. That's enough. Let me go to sleep. Similarly, say from relatives, from properties, that gives a little joy, incentive. But then what happens? That's a worry. Keep accounting and do tax, nowadays, tax season, how it goes. So lots of worries. And then relatives are also after that. When he passes away, then I'll get hold of it. So all kinds of worries are there. So any situation also teaches us patience. In any situation, how we can take time and reflect and see the causes. Generally, what we do, we don't have patience. We jump to a conclusion and go against it. But if we see with patience, then we can see solution. We must not forget God in all these circumstances. So ego will come in between. And if we get suffering, that means God is teaching me how to renounce, how not to be attached with this world. And also it teaches patience. Sri Ramakrishna contributed a lot to this world. Apparently, see, half naked, we can see. But the teaching he gave, it is easy to understand, it is easy to implement. How to live. Sri Ramakrishna said, how to live in this world. Sri Ramakrishna said, live like a mudfish. Though it is in the mud, but mud does not touch it. Like the birds or pankoti. Pankoti means that it dives in water and then comes out and then shakes it and all the water is gone. So we are to be here detached. Sri Ramakrishna is like boat. Boat should be in the water, but water should not be in the boat. And then one should behave in this world like the husking machine, pestle is coming all the time. One should be careful not to crush your hands. You may engage in worldly affairs, but always your mind should be the pestle, that is God. Another example, he said, that two sides of a balance. And there was, that indicator. So it should be with God. If you have more on worldly side, then it will be disbalanced. Like he said, like a wayward woman or man, whatever. They work in this world, but their mind is always dwelling on the paramount. So all these are teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. So let me read some teachings because time is nearing. Then another contribution that we see, ekam sat vipraha bahudha vadanti. Yat jato mat tato path. As many faiths, so many paths. And this is not a theory. He did it. He walked on those paths and realized that same truth. After walking through the same path, he realized, and he then declared that as many faiths, so many paths. So there is no dispute. But the problem is somebody says, no, my path is only path. There comes the difficulty. Fanaticism is the difficulty. All the ills that is seen in this world is because of fanaticism. Of course, there is another one, materialism. Materialism, or we can say even sensual existence, or say commercialism, whatever. So material, we give more importance to material things. But the person who is suffering because of that, we don't give that importance. That is why Sri Ramakrishna said that first God and then everything. First um, seek God, and everything will be added unto you, as Christ also said the same thing. So here we find, so in the time of materialism, like Karl Marx and Freud, etc., he showed a way. So in a way, he taught the pundits of modern era that whatever you are saying, that is not the way, rather this is the way. If you follow that one, it is direct way for ruination. But if you want to enjoy the bliss of God, then this is the way. And not only that, he himself, once he tried to pluck some flowers, and he saw the whole world, all the flowers and the trees are like so many bouquets. Once he tried to, offer bay leaf, then he saw that whole world is Shiva. And later his disciple, after getting that meeting, I said that today what I learned, I'll come to the society and fall on it as a bombshell. And he did that. He introduced serving God in man, how to serve God in man. So it is not compassion, but it is service. And service, and he also explained, the previous idea was the donor is standing on high pedestal and throwing some pittances to the receiver. But now the donor must kneel down in front of the receiver because he is giving this opportunity. So this is all his teachings, even for this modern world, the whole world. If the world wants peace, if the world wants bliss, this is the way. All pundits may tell this and that, but Sri Ramakrishna is over them. So Sri Ramakrishna is the world teacher. And this teaching is out of his own realization, not understanding. He realized the whole world is one. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. What is written in Vedas, that everything is Brahman. He realized when he was worshipping, he was throwing the articles to all direction. The flowers, etc., to all direction. Because he saw the temple, the door seal, everything is Brahman. And once it happened, a cat came, and the offering that was supposed to offer to Mother Kali, he fed that cat because he saw Mother Kali in that form. We also have pets, but not with that idea. If we have such ideas, then it's already done. But we have other, we are also infatuated with this pets. So anyway, the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna is very, very important because that opens up a floodgate of life and the bliss and understanding, knowledge, jnana, bhakti. This is the way Sri Ramakrishna taught. Now I'll read some teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. He is born in vain who, having attained the human birth, so difficult to get, does not attempt to realize God in this very life. So we should not spend this life in vain. Rather, whatever way, what is simple way we can do, that we are to offer for our own good. You see many stars in the sky at night, but not when sun rises. Can you therefore say that there are no stars in the heaven during the day? The scientists, they don't admit God. He said, how can you? It is foolish. Even it's not scientific temper. Until or unless you disprove, you cannot say this. But without attaining anything, they say there is no God. Or they don't admit, not everybody. O man, because you cannot find God in the days of your ignorance, say not that there is no God. So this is all teaching for all. One cannot have the vision of God as long as one has these three: shame, hatred, and fear. Fear to do good, what people will say. If I meditate, what people will say. Nowadays, of course, changing. Or shame, if you don't feel ashamed when you are doing something wrong. So these three things, but teachings of mother is a little different. If you have shame, hatred for bad thing, shame for doing bad thing, and fear for even what people will say, then you have chance. So that's a different, but same idea in two different ways. Be not a traitor in your thoughts. Be sincere, act according to your thoughts, and you shall surely succeed. Pray with a sincere and simple heart, and your prayers will be heard. Simple. And he assured us that if you pray this way, in simple, sincere way, then it will be heard. Do not let worldly thoughts and anxieties disturb your mind. Do everything that is necessary in the proper time. See, this is very important. It is called swadharma, swakarma. Swadharme nidhanam shreyah paradharmo bhayabha. Whatever stipulated duty that is given to me or to us, that is to be performed. If we don't do, then we are negating. That means we are infatuated with non-functioning. Mate sangastu akarmani. Not to be attached with non-functioning. So this is very good. Yeah, it's I can do things. So do not let worldly thoughts and anxieties disturb your mind. Do everything that's necessary in the proper time, and let your mind be always fixed on God. You should remember that the heart of the devotee is the abode of God. He dwells, no doubt, in all beings, but he especially manifests himself in the heart of the devotees. The heart of the devotee is the drawing room of God. See, when I say drawing room of God, yes, so God is there. So simple to understand. Pure knowledge and pure love are one and the same thing. Both lead the aspirants to the same goal. The path of love is much easier. Kleshodhikatarastesham abhyaktasakta chetasam. Those who are clinging to unmanifested, unmanifested way of approach, it's difficult for them. It's better to think God is in the shrine, God. Then after worshipping, then that God should not be confined there, but that God is everywhere, immanent. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna taught. And it is not for only small fries like us, small being like us, but it's for even wise people. Who is the best devotee of God? It is he who sees after the realization of Brahman that God alone has become all living beings, the universe, and the 24 cosmic principles. One must discriminate at first, saying not this, and reach the roof. After that, one realizes that the steps are made of the same materials as the roof, namely brick, lime, and brick dust. So he gives example. so that ordinary people can understand and wise people can explore and find new meaning in it. And those who have realized, they also understand, oh, so they also enrich. Live in the world like a waterfowl. The water clings to the bird, but the bird shakes it off. Live in the world like a mudfish. The fish lives in the mud, but its skin is always bright and shiny. One should constantly repeat the name of God. The name of God is highly effective in the Kali Yuga. The practice of yoga. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam, Kalu Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyata. There is no other way, but you have to recite the name of God. And we are so blessed to have that name of God. And all names are potent. All names are impregnated with power. So not to doubt about it. This is great teaching of Sri Ramakrishna, the world teacher Sri Ramakrishna. For ordinary people, for Pandits, even he fulfilled his previous incarnations. In this incarnation, we find a balance of jnana, bhakti, karma, yoga, all taken together. If you are only jnani, as Swami Vivekananda said, that all your blood, if gushes to your brain, you are not a healthy person. Or all blood gushes to your feet or limbs, you are not a healthy person. It should be equitably distributed to all parts. So this is the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. What is required, that one must do. Take jnana, take bhakti, take even meditation, Raja Yoga, and also Karma Yoga, wherever it is required. If we do karma, that should be offered to God. Sarvam karmakhilam partha jnana parisamapyate. So every action leads us to that knowledge. So this is world teacher Sri Ramakrishna, and we are happy that this coming Saturday we are going to celebrate the birth anniversary of Sri Ramakrishna. So this is our offering before that, so that we know what Sri Ramakrishna is. Thank you very much. So there is no singing, doesn't matter, we have prasad. Because of Shivaratri, people are tired, so many people could not come.
Namaste, Swamiji.